In this video, we're going to show you how to zero your RH25 V2 thermal clip-on unit. Now, there are some considerations when it comes to your mounting choices and your optic choices, and we're going to kind of get to the bottom of this as how to actually make this work for you. If you're looking for a multi-use thermal optic where you can mount it to your helmet, you could use it handheld, you could use it on your rifle as well. I think it's really hard to beat the RH25. There are a couple other units out there that have that 3-in-1 capability, but I think the RH25 V2 especially has kind of solidified itself as the king of a do-it-all thermal unit. So let's hop into it. Okay, so before we zero, I just want to quickly talk about your optic setup. So on this particular gun, this is my 300 Blackout MCX Rattler LT. So I'm running the EOTech Voodoo 3-9. This is a second focal plane optic. I wish it was the first focal plane one, but whatever. So you have a short compact optic. The base mag is 3X, which there are some considerations that we'll talk about a little bit later with that when you're running the thermal. Since you have that 3X base mag, you're going to want to separate the day optic from the thermal just a little bit more. If you're running an LPVO, you can run it closer because you have that 1X base mag, or if you have like a 2X base mag or something like that. So we're gonna move up front to the thermal mount. This is the Unity Combat thermal mount. It is a flip to side QD thermal mount. So you have your QD detachment up here, and you can also flip it to the side if you don't need your thermal anymore and you need access to your day optic. If you're investing into a thermal unit, especially a clip-on, you need to invest in the mounting solutions. I would not cheap out when it comes to mounts on your clip-on. It will cost you in a hunt, for sure. I've experienced that myself. When you're mounting these thermals, you're going to want to make sure that, first of all, your QD mount is very solid on there. I can't even get it off, it's pretty tight. You want to check for side-to-side play. If you're using a flip-to-side, you want to see if there's any play this way. Use the recommended torque spec. Don't just say, oh, it feels good enough. Like actually make sure that this thing is mounted properly to your gun, or it's going to cause a lot of frustration. And also, shameless plug, on the thermal unit, we have the 100 Concepts thermal caps. It's always good to protect your optics, protect your investments. All right, so let's go ahead and zero this day optic real quick. Whoopsie. So, now let's move on to zeroing the thermal. So for my target, since we're looking for a different signature, we're looking for a heat signature. That's the whole point of the thermal. I'm gonna be using a toe warmer. This is what I usually use. A lot of people use reflective tape, foil, something like that. I like using hand warmers. Fun fact, you actually don't need to shake a lot of these new ones, but it feels like you're doing something when you're shaking it. Okay, got our targets up. All right, we're now going to collimate the thermal to your reticle. All right, so what we're essentially doing is shifting the screen to align with your day optic, essentially zeroing it. All right, so in order to do this properly, the #1 thing you need to do is make sure that your thermal unit is in the clip-on mode. So to make sure that it's in clip-on mode and not handheld mode and not head-mounted mode, there is the middle button, and you will long hold it and you'll see the screen kind of get smaller, and you're gonna cycle through 2 different modes. So you're gonna see like a handheld mode, which is it takes up the entire screen. Then you're gonna see like a head-mounted mode, so it gets a little bit smaller. And then clip-on mode is the smallest setting, so it reduces that image size down, reducing condensing the pixels, giving you a good image through your reticle stack, essentially. So to get it into the zeroing mode, which essentially pops up as a XY axis, you're gonna press the front button, which is the power button, and then you're also going to press the menu button, which is that middle button, and long hold them at the same time. And then you'll see the XY axis coordinates essentially pop up on the screen. And that is what you're going to adjust in order to collimate the thermal to your reticle. So what we'll do first, we'll see if it's actually on. Sometimes it aligns pretty good. So let's hop into it. So the funny thing is with this particular optic, which, you know, this is why we're out here testing this stuff, I can't see the bottom of the thermal image, which is where your XY coordinates pop up. This is gonna make it a little tricky to zero, but it is a flip to side mount. So what I'm gonna have to do is kind of take a peek through here, adjust it, go go back here and make sure that it's zeroed or collimated properly. So that enables us to also test the return to zero of the thermal mount as well. But let's go ahead and get this on paper and see where we're at. You can see the toe warmers are actually spreading through the target a little bit. Okay, I think that was way right. Oh yeah, we're way off. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see this through the camera properly, but if you can see the reticle in the day optic, in the EOTech, you'll see that it is way to the right of the intended target. And once you flip on the thermal, it puts the reticle right over the target, which is where I'm trying to aim. That's essentially the collimation, right? You're trying to move that thermal image way over to align it with your day optic. Okay, so the day optic is way to the right of the target. When I shift it, it shifts it left. So I need to move the X-axis over quite a bit. See if we can get this to work. So I'm going to long hold the power button and the menu button in the middle, the menu up. Again, I can't exactly see, so I'm gonna have to use the flip to side feature. So I'm going to press the middle button to confirm that I want to move the X-axis. Essentially, if you're going up, you are moving to the right. So if it's on 33 and I'm going up to 40, I'm moving the image to the right. If I want to go to the left, you need to go down. So if it's 33 and I want to shift it to the left, I'm going to go down to like 30, 25, for example. Same way on the Y-axis. If you want to go up, you want to go positive. If you want to go down, you're going to go negative. Okay, so once you have it confirmed, you're going to long hold the middle button, and then it will de-highlight the X, which means you can scroll around freely. I'm gonna go over to the check mark and now kind of lock it in. And now let's see where we're at. Okay, so we're still a good bit over. All right, so I'm gonna long hold those two buttons, the power button and the middle button, bring up that collimation menu again, and let's just go all the way down to like -10. Big adjustments here, boys. All right, confirm that again. You can kind of see the heat on the target. I think that may have hit. Okay, not quite enough. So your increments are pretty small, which is good. It's a good thing. So let's go down to -18. I have a good feeling about that. We're gonna lock it in, confirm it. Okay, went too far. We're getting there. All right, yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so I would consider this zeroed. Let's go ahead and walk down there and we'll kind of look at the results here. All right, so you can usually do it a little bit faster than that. I was kind of limited by my mount there. I had to keep on flipping it off to the side to be able to see the XY coordinate menu pop up, but it seemed to work fairly well. But my first shots were like way off to the right. They were hitting somewhere past this post into the water. So we adjusted it way left. So we started off at like +30 or so. I dropped it all the way back to -16 on the adjustment, which got us our final result over here. So we walked it in, kind of got the elevation set eventually. So I was grouping over here to the right, moved it 1 point over again on the X-axis, dropped back down here, and then kind of got it centered up as best as I could. But I would consider this zeroed for the most part. It's a little tricky, especially when you don't have a very refined aiming point, but this is what I would consider good to go. Pretty simple, not too hard. I'd highly recommend making sure you memorize the menu functions, what's long hold, what's short hold. That'll really make your life easier when you're out there actually hunting. You don't want to have to remember where certain menu functions are or how to quickly access certain menu functions, because next thing you know, a coyote's popping up and you're fiddling around in your color palette somewhere or adjusting your contrast or something like that. So you want to be able to do things quickly. I think the RH25 V2 is another great product, but I think it's more for the person that is looking for a do-it-all optic. You're not that into hunting, you're not hunting hard every single night, but you still like to hunt. but you might be a guy that has a PVS 14, you want to mount it onto your helmet or something like that. For example, I love my dual tube night vision like that. I think it's the coolest thing ever since sliced bread. It's a cool superpower. But the reality is the person that has a PVS 14 and a thermal optic mounted to their helmet, they are going to see things first. That's just how it goes. I've been on a couple hunts where we're walking to a spot, we're not even at our set yet, and they're like, what's that over there? It turns out to be a coyote, right? So they get the first dibs essentially because they're spotting things first. When you're at your set, they're able to look around, right? Since they have it mounted onto their head and then duck down into their gun, their dedicated thermal optic on their gun. So it just gives you a lot more flexibility hunting wise. Same thing in the military, although you have access to fusion devices. That's kind of the next step up where you're putting the thermal unit straight onto your dual tube night vision, or it's built into the night vision housing itself. That stuff gets really expensive, but it's really, really cool. So that just goes to say that having thermal on you is very important, especially in this day and age, whether you're predator hunting or hunting in general, or you're a professional of some sort, hunting the two-legged creatures out there, you know. Thermal has changed the battlefield no matter what you're doing, right? So take that into consideration. Anyway, thank you. That is how you zero the RH25 V2. Have fun, go out there, go hunting, go hiking, just actually go out there and use the stuff that you're spending all of your hard-earned money on. Get some hard use out of it. It's not a toy, you know, it's a tool. So make sure and use it, learn how to use it, and become effective with it. Thank you, that's all. Remember, do good, be dangerous, live free.